Animation players in Godot are incredibly powerful. They can call functions, modify variables, and are an essential tool in your development arsenal. However, they aren't an all-in-one solution. This is where the animation tree comes in. In this video, I'll guide you through the limitations of the animation player and demonstrate how the animation tree can help you overcome them, covering most of its important and useful features. But first, let's start with the animation player. The animation player is incredibly user-friendly. It requires very little documentation knowledge to get started. It also allows you to call functions directly from it, which is a great ability for animations to have. While Animation Player is great, it has a key limitation. It can only play one animation at a time. You can't blend animations and smoothly transition between them just by using an animation player. Let me show you an example here. I have an enemy that swings his weapon using an animation player when I approach. I also have a second animation, a quick red flash that plays when he is hit. Watch what happens when I try to play the red flash animation while he is swinging. As you can see, the swing stops. This is because only one animation can be played at a time with a single animation player node. For this specific scenario, animation player isn't ideal on its own. We would need two animation player nodes to handle these animations. So while animation player is great for simple animations or when you're certain you'll need only one animation to play at a time, most of the time it needs help from another node, and the node is called AnimationTree needs an animation player to function correctly. Think of the animation player as a bank where you build and store animations. The animation tree then takes these stored animations and allows you to manipulate them. Your animation tree can either be a blend tree or a state machine tree, or it can also be a mix of both. Let's start with the basics. A blend tree. A blend tree requires a single animation as an output. It's typically an idle or walking animation. Here's how a standard blend tree works. You build it using blocks, each with a specific role. I will walk over each block later in the video. For now we only need the most basic block which holds animations. So we create a new animation block and assign idle animation to it. It will now loop over this idle animation over and over. In order to add another animation to the cycle, we need a new block. It's called one-shot block. One-shot block allows us to call an animation once from code whenever we want it. So it's ideal for animations that only need to happen once or every once in a while, like swinging a sword. In the one-shot block you have two inputs and one output. Into the input you want to put your main animation, so your idle track. And in the shot input you want to put an animation that only happens once whenever you want it, so our sword swing. Now, whenever we call this one-shot block to fire from code, it will swing a sword. You can imagine it like that. The idle animation is a main stream of a river, and then each other block, so one-shots or whatever you put in, gets added to that river. And included in the output that is our sea which the rivers flow in. One-shot and other blocks that allow you to connect two or more animations have a nice feature, the filter feature. This filter allows you to set which properties the one-shot animations should affect. If both your idle and one-shot animations affect the same property, you can choose which one takes priority. So if our idle animation affects rotation of our character, as well as the attack animation affects the rotation, you can choose which one takes priority and affects it, like here in the example. Let me now show you how to activate these blocks from code. So first we have to set up our animation tree. Let's select the animation player where all of our animations are stored. Click this arrow here, new animation node blend tree, and at the bottom of the screen, animation tree. Now your workspace is ready. You also have other options in Animation Mixer here, but trust me, they are not necessary to start working with the animation tree. You only need active to be checked on. In our workspace, create a new animation and add the idle animation for it. As you can see, it's already playing. Now let's add one shot and call it one shot attack. And add attack animation to it. We also want to create filters so that the attack animation doesn't stop the idle animation. Once we have it, we can create the damaged effect. It will also contain of one shot and one animation. We also want to create filters for it, so that the animation only affects the mesh of our object. We can now test everything out. Let's now take a look at code. Over here we need a reference for the animation tree. We of course need that to access anything inside of the node from code. To use the one-shot node, we need to access it and call it to fire. How do we access it? You may use this line to access the animation tree one-shot. How would you know what to write inside of the string though? Well, it's easy, just click here and copy the path. You can now paste it inside of the brackets. And once you launch the game, everything should be working fine. Next, let's take a look at a more complex tree that I use in my game The Rift of Nosteria. Blend Space 1D. This is often the only block we need for a 3D character's movement. It smoothly blends between two animations like idle to walking, and it provides a blended output between these animations. All you need to do is to specify a value, for instance 0 for idle and 1 for walking, and you can also add 2 for running if you wanted. You then set this value from code based on the speed of a character. You can also use Blend Space 2D if you want to cover falling and jumping, for example. That covers the basic blocks of a blend tree. A Blend Space 1D or 2D forms your core, a base looping animation, and you trigger one-shots based on the situation in the game. This approach is simple yet versatile. Let's take a quick look on other blocks Blend Tree offers. Add to block. It allows you to add an animation to the main one. So for example, if your main animation only moves legs, you can add hand movement with a different animation by using this block. Add free block. Same thing as add to, but you can connect two animations and switch between them by changing the value from positive to negative. Blend to. Instead of adding animations, it blends them. You can set value from 0 to 1. At 0, only main animation is playing. At values from 0 to 1, they are blended linearly. At value 1, only the second one is playing. I am using it for skeleton attack stance here, so if I want him to be in attack stance, I set the value to 1. If I want him to be idle, I just leave it at 0. Sub 2. Like add to but reversed. I have honestly never used it, you need to fill it out yourself. Time Seek. Allows you to play animations from a certain position instead of playing it from the start. Might be good for skipping some parts of the animation. Time Scale. Speed up or slow down your animation. You can also play the animation in reverse when the value is negative. Transition. Holds many animations and can transition between them. Can be useful if you, for example, have types of walk cycle you wanna switch between. Blend Tree. You can have a blend tree inside the blend tree. I never used it that way, and it can get out of hand quickly. It is literally just another blend tree with an output. And that's all the blocks the blend tree offers. See? It's not that scary, right? Of course, it's not all smiles and rainbows. Blend tree has issues of its own. It can grow out of scale quickly, so watch out and name your blocks correctly. Also, it has one big issue for me. You can't just copy and paste easily. See, I'm doing Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V and nothing happens. It doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Why wouldn't you make it work like in every single other place in the engine? Why? I don't get it. So we have to use a workaround. You need to build a template for animations like walking, idling, dealing damage, or whatever you want. Set up a tree and save it as resource to your PC over here. You can then easily load this resource to other animation trees and make it unique. You now have a different blend tree you can work on. And that's basically all you need to do to start working with a blend tree. So now let's move to the animation tree also offers a state machine which can serve as an alternative to a blend tree. With a state machine, you transition between distinct states such as walking, running, crawling or attack. It's not inherently better or worse than a blend tree, rather it's suited for different use cases. You can even embed blend trees within state machines, and vice versa. But be mindful that complex setups can become difficult to manage. Let's explore how a state machine operates. You'll begin with a screen showing start and end nodes. You can add animations as individual states. A state machine functions by transitioning from one state to another. To define these transitions, you connect states with arrows. For example, connecting the start node to your idle animation means that when the game launches, the idle animation will begin playing automatically. Let me illustrate with two examples using a simple capsule character. The idle animation involves moving up and down, while the walking animation is a wobbling motion. The most crucial element here is the transition, the lines connecting each state. Godot provides three different transition types. Immediate, switches to the next state instantly. The current state ends and the next one begins. This works best with conditions which allow you to unlock transitions via code. Sync. Transitions to the next state immediately, but seeks the new state to the playback position of the old state. Which means that if your current animation is at 2 seconds, the one you are going to transition to will also start at 2 seconds. I honestly haven't found a good use case for it. You may write some examples in the comments if you have any idea how to use it. Transition at end. Waits for the current state's animation to finish playing, then switches to the beginning of the next state's animation. You can even use this with looping animations if you toggle break loop at end. For each transition you can set a crossfade time to smooth out the switch between states. I highly recommend using this for a smooth and polished look. There is also a priority variable. The transition with the lower value will always be chosen over the transition with the higher value. Disabled. Prevents this transition from being used. Enabled. This transition only works when you explicitly tell your state machine to travel to another state from code, and the set condition is true. Auto. Automatically uses this transition when its specified condition becomes true. What condition, you ask? It's a parameter you set yourself, which you can then control from your code. In our example, we'll use two conditions, walking and idle. We'll set walking to true when the character is moving and false when it's not. I will demonstrate how to implement this in code. Okay, so at this point our animation tree looks like this. It's a state machine with a blend tree. So basically our blend tree is a root and we are using a state machine to play all animations. And let's see how it looks like in game. As you can see, we have idle animation at the start, and when we start to walk, this happens. And I will now show you how to do this in code. Let's now take a look at code. At the start we need to get the animation state machine playback. This is necessary to change conditions. And we get this playback from AnimationTree. So you can get this by clicking at the animation tree, and in animation node state machine just click copy property path, and you can paste this right here. We want a reference of a state machine's playback in order to easily call functions from it, so we can travel to another state easily. In our example, we will only be setting conditions, and state machine playback is not needed for that. If you wanted to call the state machine playback to travel to a different state, you would do it this way. State machine, and travel to a state that you want, so we can travel to idle state, and it will force our state machine to travel to this state. So we need to check if our speed is greater than 0, we do it here, and if our character is on floor. If it's true, we want to enter the walking state. That's why we set the walking condition to true and idle to false. And once we stop moving, we set the walking condition to false and idle condition to true. Let's move through it once again. When we start the game, our character automatically enters idle state because he is not moving. Transition over here is false because our character is not moving. When we start to move, this transition is true, so we enter from idle state to walk state. And when we stop moving, transition here is true, so we stop walking and enter idle state. That's basically it. If you want to expand your animations and add states for falling, swimming or crouching, you simply connect them to relevant states and write more code and more conditions. The blocks you can use in AnimationTree include individual animations, blend space 1D that functions the same as in blend tree. Blend space 2D also works the same as in the blend tree. A blend tree node, yes, the very same blend tree we discussed earlier, and another state machine. So this allows for complex nested structures like a matryoshka doll of blend trees inside state machines, inside blend trees and so on. However, I generally suggest creating a blend tree first and then using a state machine node to organize your states. This often provides more flexibility down the line. You can easily speed up your state machine or slow it down or just do whatever you want in a blend tree. Now let me walk you through a state machine I'm using in my game The Rift of Nosteria to control attack animations. This machine manages swinging, special attacks and blocking. It ensures automatic and smooth transitions between phases of a weapon swing, holding ready, swinging and recovery. If an attack is blocked, a pushback animation plays. Otherwise, the normal swing continues. Similarly, blocking an enemy triggers a small pushback. From ready state, you can transition to a normal attack or a special attack by holding left click. As you can see, AnimationTree is a great tool to have in your arsenal. Animation Player is also a great tool, but it's designed for simpler tasks, and you can get most from animations by using both blend trees and state machines together. Now go forth and use animation trees. You learn best by doing and fixing problems that you yourself have caused. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can support me on Ko-fi. I'll see you next time soon. See ya!